Welcome to the Financial Planners Southeast Asia podcast, a show dedicated to driving the positive evolution of financial advice, specifically within Southeast Asia. To join a global community of financial advisors sharing and learning with one another to drive the positive evolution of financial advice, head to xyadvisor.com. Guys, welcome to another episode of the Financial Planners Southeast Asian podcast. Today, I'm with Rey Christian Jaca, who is a financial advisor from the Philippines, and he's back for another episode because today we will be talking about a specific topic, and that is around customer service. So thank you so much for being in the show again, Chris.
Hey, Gwen. It's always a pleasure to be here in your podcast, and thank you for having me.
For sure. So why don't we just jump right into the topic? Because just for context, if you're new to the podcast, then you will find that Rey Christian Jaca was my first guest on episode 1. So if you want to get to know more about Christian, then you can check that out because in that podcast, we talk about his journey as a financial advisor here in the Philippines. But now I'd like to ask you, Chris, how's the business doing?
Basically, I've been doing the same thing that I shared to you in the previous podcast, but there has been a couple of things that I done recently that is new to my business. This came out of desperation because here in the Philippines, we had the Delta variant cases rise and we were again put on lockdown. So being that the case, we are, as financial advisor, we have that challenge again, how to reach out to our clients and continue to build our network. So out of that desperation, I've recently been thinking of new ways on how to reach out to my clients. So of course, we can only meet through virtual meetings. Now, the challenge with that is it's been so difficult to actually book an appointment with them, because I know people are busy. There's a lot of their going on in their minds right now. So talking to their financial advisor would be the last in their priority list. So that's why one of the recent things that I've been doing is creating videos for them just to give them whatever update that I want to share with them at that time. It could be the annual review on how their plans are going, how their investments are going. And I also found it very important for me to remind them what is actually in their plans, their insurance plans, their other benefits, because I noticed that it's a common thing that after I talk to my clients a year later for their first annual review, they kind of have a vague memory of what's included in their plans. So that's why I find it important to always have an annual review. And in that annual review, there has to be a refresher of what, of our financial plan that we established. So, I've subscribed to this software. I find it good for me. It's called Wondershare Demo Creator. And it's not that expensive. And for me, it does the job to just have like a vlogger type video ready for your clients so that it would also be easy for them to watch like a 10-minute video of you.
Well, that's cool. So you mentioned that so Wondershare Demo Creator is like a software that you use to make videos. Why this software in particular, though? Anything special about it? Why you like using it?
Well, I'm not the most tech-savvy guy out there, but I find Wondershare to be quite user-friendly. It's simple. There's a lot of tutorial videos in YouTube. So it was so easy for me to learn, and it does the job, and it's not the most expensive in the market. And I feel like there could be more expensive and more high-end softwares out there, but I'm not looking for something. I'm not out, I'm not planning to make my own movie for Hollywood. So I just got to get the job done to make my videos presentable, to have be able to make some visual aids for them, to have like a neat opening and closing, like a clip for me. So just to make it formal for my clients and, pleasurable, so to speak, for them to watch the whole video.
So that's a very interesting way to connect with your clients. So I do understand what you mean when you say that nowadays it seems like talking to a financial advisor is the last thing in people's minds, especially what I find here in the Philippines, because during the lockdown or during the whole pandemic, it seems like we're busier, right? Like we feel like we have so much in our plate now that we're at home, and it's very helpful to have a financial advisor who understands this and just sends out a video for them to review at their leisure or at their free time. So I'd like to learn more about this. Like, what is inside this video? What can your like clients expect inside that video?
The videos that I'm working on is mostly right now is about the features in their plans, such as what does their health insurance cover, what are the details of their life insurance, and the investments, what funds are they being invested in, and how it's going. So it's like a walkthrough of everything in their plan as much as possible, just to make sure that they remember what our goal was at the onset. And the way that I'm making these videos is that I'm cut it out into short clips of maybe 5 to 10 minutes for their health insurance, 5 to 10 minutes for their investments, and then they kind of just can pick whichever they're most interested in their most convenient time. And I'm uploading them in YouTube and they can view it. So if there's the feature in YouTube that if you pause it and then you can just come back to where you stop anytime later on. So I made it 5 to 10 minutes because it's kind of what I learned from the other vloggers, which is 5 to 10 minutes is like the limit of most people
Span.
to exactly. So you want to keep it crisp and neat, and that's why it's important also to have visual aids in your videos, such as especially for investments. It's quite common that you show graphs there, right? And also for your health insurance, if you can just picture out like a line graph that just shows at what age they got the health insurance, until what age they're covered with it, and what are the possibilities that can happen in between them when their critical illness insurance can be claimed, and what are the features. So it would be better if we could show this in video. So but in podcast, maybe I hope I just helped you picture out what I'm trying to say here, but that's the idea.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. So basically, you have created a series of videos for your clients, where these videos are uploaded in YouTube, and they're about 5 to 10 minutes long each. So it's more like a master class, if you will. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, yes. And my challenge now is how to organize these videos, because as of the moment, I'm just setting it in Messenger. I'm just asking them to view it at their most convenient time, right? And what I haven't started yet, but I've thought about it, is to make, we got to leverage technology during this pandemic, because we can't go out there and talk to our clients. So we can only use the internet, right? So what I'm planning next is to maybe make a website for them. So I'm not looking for any extravagant website. So maybe something as simple as Google Sites. It's free, and I've watched a couple of tutorials on how to use it, and it seems to do the job. And in that way, you don't just dump these videos in Messenger and just kind of leave it to your clients to scroll up and down when they want to review any of those clips that you got them. So that's one of the things that I'm planning right now, and hopefully I can get that started soon.
So that's really great because then if those videos are set in a particular or a specific website, then it's more organized and that way like I because I feel like if you send something in Messenger, sometimes it gets in the back burner or like people can get distracted with other messages, right? So I think that's a really great idea to put it in a separate place and in a way that it can get organized so that you have control on what your client would watch first or would consume first. But I'm curious, like, where did you get this idea? Did you get this idea on your own, or did you have an inspiration from like another financial advisor?
Well, I do watch a couple of financial advisors in YouTube. I'm following some of them, but I didn't exactly get this idea because what they're doing is they're making videos for the general public, right? And what I'm doing is quite different because I'm not making these videos for anyone out there. It's exclusive to my clients. In fact, I set them as unlisted in YouTube so that only my clients has access to them. So maybe I can make, just to boost my social media presence, to make general videos, general advices, like what our money coaches does. But for the meantime, I'm quite satisfied with I'm focusing on my clients in order to build my network. In fact, what I found quite important for me to do as well now is not just reaching out to my clients, but as much as I can get to know their beneficiaries as well, because I found the need that we also have to get to know each other, and it's also important for them to be educated of what their financial plan of their, the breadwinner is.
Yeah, yeah. So we talked about this offline, right? Outside of the podcast, that you found like there is a need for you to educate not just the clients but their beneficiaries as well in terms of the insurance coverage. So can you tell us why you thought about that?
It actually came with the experience of processing my first claims. I Unfortunately, I've already experienced the first my one of my first clients to pass away, and that was actually due to COVID. And then, the beneficiaries and the family reached out to me and wanted help to process the claims. And we're at the stage now that it's at the last minute that I have to educate them on what's in the plan, what's the process. So it's quite stressful for them. And I just feel so sorry. And I said to myself that if only I could have talked to them and not just rely to my client, because of course, before I've always educated my clients that don't keep your plans a secret because they are your beneficiaries. Sooner or later, they will need to know these their benefits. So now that's why I'm proactively reaching out to my existing clients to tell them the importance of me getting to know them and educating their family about their financial plans. And it's one of my ways as well to make a sense of urgency so that my clients can prioritize meeting up with me. So it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
one of the ways for me to make sure that I keep in touch with them.
Yeah, yeah, because what I do notice with other financial advisors that I have talked to in the past is they meet up with a client, especially here in the Philippines, they meet up with a client and they never speak to them again, not because they don't want to, but because their client has already moved on to their next priority, right? So it's like their clients had a checklist to like first get insurance, get an investment, and then once that's ticked off, they just move on and they won't have the time or the yeah they won't have the time for their financial advisor anymore because they've already ticked that box that they had to just initially meet with them.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to avoid on becoming a financial advisor like that, because from the word advisor, another word we can use for that, we're educators, right? And that's why our main purpose is to educate people on the importance of financial planning. So that's if we go back to the opening theme of this episode, we talked about customer service. So these are the two new activities that I've recently been developing in my business, creating videos for them and proactively reaching out to their family, their beneficiaries, in order to make sure that they're on the loop with the plan. And in this way, I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do. So some might say that, I might be wasting my time as a financial advisor. I'm not making any new sales because I'm just talking to existing clients. But
Yeah.
I don't think like that, because at least I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and I'm satisfied with it. And also, through customer service, it actually goes back to you. The more you share, the more blessings that goes back to you, right? I believe in that saying. And if we impress our clients with these types of customer service activities, I don't find it hard to believe that it's easier for them to refer you to their friends, even maybe their family, their beneficiaries will see the value of it and get new plans from you. So it's like a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, I really do believe in that. And most of the financial advisors and financial planners that I have had the pleasure of talking to in this podcast as well, most, if not all of them, really had that in mind as well, to provide the best customer service, because that way their clients will feel like they really do care for them, or they have the best interest at heart, and it's easier for them to talk about you positively to other people, to their loved ones, and so referrals are easier to come by because of that. But and I guess that's one of the reasons why you started honing and providing better customer service. But aside from that, like, is there anything else that you'd like as an outcome with regards to educating your clients and providing them with all of these information and extra legwork?
Um, my main goal with these new activities is making sure the plan goes smoothly as much as possible. So I feel that I'm already achieving that. Of course, there's always going to be room for improvement, and I'll continue to innovate. But aside from making sure my clients are educated, I feel like this will also help other financial advisors see the importance of customer service, because based on market research, it's snake oil salesman methods is the last thing you want to do,
Mm.
because um, my company AXA actually provided us a market research that it seems to be our new clients and new sales always comes from the existing clients. So that's why we have to change the whole perception of getting one client and moving on to the next. And then if we further improve the customer service of financial advising here in the Philippines, I believe we can make the statistics better or improve from 1 out of 10 families having a proper financial plan to at least maybe five in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that is truly the goal. And well, that's really nice and good. And but I would like to hear from you. What are the other things that or ways that we can um, do to create that or to pursue that goal? So I've heard you use technology. We've mentioned your video software, using YouTube, using like Google Sites. Are there any other technology that you use in order for you to create like a great customer service package, if you will, to your clients?
Those are the two things that I've recently added to, or at least I've started with my business. Another thing that I've been planning on doing along with Google Sites is Google Forms. So I'm actually going with free tech softwares right now because, of course, I have to check if the return of investment is actually worth it to invest in more, you know,
Yeah,
apps that
yeah,
are
because
more
technology
high
isn't
end.
cheap. Yeah.
Exactly. So, what I want is to create my own financial needs analysis. So it's a bunch of questions to get information from clients and potential clients in order to identify what is the best solution for them.
Right, right. And I know that Australians already have this in place in their client journey. But I guess, did you think about getting that because there is a lack of that type of technology here in the Philippines with regards to the financial advice industry?
Well, there is already an established training in my company, AXA, but of course, as a financial advisor, I continue to do my own studies, come up with my own solutions or techniques on how to help my clients get their assurance that they have a solid plan with them. So that's why I kind of, at this stage, I want to enhance my needs analysis methods.
Right. So you really want to dive into like the root cause, because I get it. Sometimes clients don't actually know, or like they think they know what they want, but because you already know how finances work and how financial management work, you already have an idea as well on what they actually need. And the more you probe with the right asking the right questions, the more that you can actually get to where or the things that what your clients actually need.
Exactly. So that's why innovation is always important. I have a lot of thanks to my current employer right now as well, virtual business partners, because from our clients here and from virtual business partners as well, I've learned the value of taking the time to think about how to innovate your business. And one of the major things to do in order for you to do that is through technology.
Yes, I love that word, innovation. So I feel like the best way that we can lift up this industry is through constant innovation and to really finding or asking the questions if there is anything else that can make things better. And so I'm glad that you brought that up. So innovating in order to provide a solid customer service for your clients, in order for them to lead better lives through helping their financial health. And so yeah, thank you so much for that one, Chris. I guess before we end this podcast, I'd like to just ask, like, what are your future plans with regards to the where you want your business to go in terms of customer service?
Definitely my own website. It's one of the if you listen to marketing gurus or tutorial videos, you will always hear how important having your own website is. So I would start with Google Sites. I'd start with Google Forms in order to have an engaging website. And, but then we'll see how it goes, and then maybe I can afford to make better or go with better softwares.
All right. So, yes, definitely a website is a great place to go. I was actually rooting for you to say that you are planning to write a book about financial management, but a website is really cool as well.
Yeah, a book. I'm an avid reader, but maybe I'll think about that too.
Awesome, awesome. So again, thank you so much for being in the podcast for the second time, Chris, and sharing your ideas and what you've been doing to your business in order to really maximize helping your clients through customer service. Thank you so much for being in the show. And before we end, all right, so before we end the show, Chris, if anyone wants to speak with you or reach out to you, where can they find you?
Yep. For now, the best way to reach out to me is through my Facebook page. It's self-named page, Rey Christian Jaca. Just shoot me a private message anytime. Then, of course, you can always text me. Is that okay? Or email me at
Sure.
rayhackachris2@gmail.com.
Right, wonderful. I'll put that in the description box or in the show notes for this podcast. Again, thank you so much for being in the show, Chris. Have a good one.
Thank you, Gwen. Bye.